Yvonne, the Egyptian authorities have released what seems to be a list of people that include foreigners working in Gaza, dual passport holders, and also we know... Just let that go by. Also, we know that there was going to be medical transfers to a field hospital on the Egyptian side of the border. That's what Egyptian sources have been saying. There's a number of Australians, around 88 confirmed, that are in Gaza, and some of them were on that list. I did speak to one family, who are in Australia but have had some contact with their relatives trying to get out of Gaza. They weren't able to get to the border. They said that there were airstrikes in between where they were driving from and Rafah, and they were forced to turn around, describing the road south in Gaza as being like hell. So even though this family were on that approved list, they haven't been able to reach Rafah, and it doesn't look like they'll be able to get out today. We don't know any more because communications in Gaza have been cut. I've heard that there's only around 15% connectivity in southern Gaza at the moment and none in the north. I can't verify that number, but it's clear that there is that we haven't been able to reach people inside Gaza itself this morning. So we don't know the true picture. We don't know how many people have come out, and we don't know whether that includes any of the Australians on that list.
Well, Eric, Israel says the strikes on the Jabalia refugee camp killed a senior Hamas leader, while the director of Gaza's Indonesian hospital says more than 50 Palestinians were killed and 150 wounded. What is the latest on this?
Well, Israel says it's looking at its data from the strike. It confirmed it did carry out that particular strike in Jabalia. It says at the same that it was aimed to support ground forces who were moving into the western part of the Jabalia camp. It's not a refugee camp in what you'd expect as a refugee camp. You've seen the pictures. It's a densely populated urban area. It's called a refugee camp because refugees from the 1948 war lived there initially, settled there. It's built up, heavily built up area. Very narrow streets, lots of families, lots of children. So this strike, you can see, it was in a densely crowded residential area, and it flattened a number of buildings. The Ministry of Interior in Gaza said that around 20 were destroyed. So it's clear that it was quite a lot of damage. Israel said one of its infantry brigades is in the area and secured a Hamas command post, killed a large number of Hamas militants. So it's interesting that Israel is in that area, and not only operating with airstrikes but with infantry, and says it's holding that area. So it's clear that the conflict is encroaching on some of these really densely populated residential areas in northern Gaza.
Eric, thanks for that update. Eric Tlozek in Ashdod there.